One last shot. This is Champions League or bust, people. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel today. My name is the Crimson Wolf, and welcome back to the final Chelsea countdown of the season, or at the very least for the Premier League season, as we finish off with a game away at Nottingham Forest, and what could only be described as the biggest and most important Premier League game we have had in a very long time. I have to say, it's been a long time since we have had a game this important. As I mentioned in the intro, this game has all of our Champions League hopes hinged upon it. If we win, we make it into the Champions League clean as a whistle. If we draw, we need a miracle to get us in the Champions League. It will require either Aston Villa to not beat Man United or Newcastle to lose to Everton. That's if we draw. If we lose, we are screwed, basically. So this is a must-win game. We absolutely must win this game. Under zero circumstances is a loss acceptable here. It's a must-win. There's no other way to put this other than a must-win game. This just has to go our way. There is no other way about it. Because we need the Champions League, not just for the games, but for the revenue, obviously. If we want to sign important players that can help us challenge for major honours for the Champions League, for the Premier League, for these big trophies that we want to win, we need that kind of revenue to sign good quality players, and there's no other way to do that than to get into the Champions League. So this is a must-win, absolute must-win. The players need to show up, Maresca needs to get it right, everything needs to go our way. Otherwise, we need to get unbelievably lucky or start kissing everything goodbye, because this could go wrong for us in so many ways. But if we win, everything will be fine. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be all right if we make Champions League. So, with that in mind, talking about the opposition, Forest have had a obviously much better season than anybody predicted. If you saw my predictions from the beginning of summer, I had been getting bloody relegated. So we'll talk about that after the season's over when I do my reaction to my predictions. But they have absolutely blown every expectation out of the water this season and have obviously managed to get themselves into European places. However, for the most of that, they were sat in third until recently, when they have dropped off horrifically. They dropped from about third to seventh with their recent form, with I believe their only wins recently being over West Ham and Spurs, who are two of the teams in the bottom of the table. Them and Man United being the only teams at the bottom of the table outside of the relegation teams. So it's not really much to say. They've got wins against bad teams and failed to get wins against bad teams. Let's not forget that they failed to beat Leicester. So they are a very good team, but they are not invulnerable. We are more than capable of going here and getting a win, a decisive win, no less. I don't think this will be a scrappy 1-0 kind of affair where we have to park the bus for 90% of the game. I think we can go here and get a convincing win. And there are several elements going in our favour. Obviously, the fact that we're in better form than they are, obviously, that's worth mentioning. The other fact is that apparently Murillo is being assessed as to whether he's capable of playing tomorrow. And if he is not, that is a huge benefit for us, as him and Milenkovic have been incredible all season in that defensive partnership. So losing one of them would be amazing for us. Milenkovic is still a good centre-back, and going up against him is going to be tough in itself. But if we can weaken that defence by taking out one of its key members, then I think that'll be a massive benefit for us. With that being said, we talked about Forest's team. Now we need to talk about our team. And of course, there's only one place to start, and that is in goal with, of course, Robert Sanchez. And I am praying, Sanchez, if you are somehow seeing this, don't fuck up. Please, man. This is the one game where you do not need to fuck up. You played really well last time we played Forest at the Bridge. We need you to do the same again. You saved us in that game. We need you to do the same again. No stupid mistakes. No playing the ball long. No horrific moments of distribution. And no bad shot stopping. Good shot stopping. Simple, effective passes. Do not screw anything up. We need nothing less than a good, solid performance. You don't need to be the next prime Buffon to help us win this game. Just don't fuck up. Seriously. Like, he has had up and down moments this season. This needs to be a big up. Like, he has had good moments, he's had bad moments. As I mentioned, that Forest game at the Bridge, good moment. Bournemouth, good moment. Brentford at home, Everton away, good moment. He has had good performances. We need another one. We need another good performance from this guy. You know what? We don't even need a good performance. We just need a not shit performance. No mistakes in this game. We cannot afford mistakes in this game. Mistakes are what are going to cost us badly. Sanchez, this could hinge your entire Chelsea career on this game. Maybe not as a number one, because I think that could also be sealed. But if he fucks up in this game, he could be done. And he might... it'll be struggle trying to find someone who will be willing to take him after that. So he needs to really make sure that this is a good game from him. Otherwise, we could have some massive, massive issues in this game. So, hopefully, Sanchez, I'm praying, man, no mistakes. Please. That's all I ask. No mistakes. I'm not asking you to be Prime Buffon. I'm not asking you to play like Prime Neuer. I'm just asking you to not screw up. That is not too much to ask. That is really not too much to ask. But to not screw up, he is going to need to have a good defence in front of him. And I was thinking over this for quite a bit onto who I would play in this defence. Obviously, with the likes of in mind, obviously, whether Caicedo could invert from right back, whether we play Reece James, whether Tosin or Trevor Chalobah would play. In the end, potentially against my better judgment, I've landed on Reece James, Tosin, Levi Colwill, and Marc Cucurella. Now, Colwill and Cucurella are always going to play this game. That was an obvious one, so I'm not going to focus on them. The point of focus here is on Tosin and Reece James. Now, obviously, Colwill and Chalobah have started to develop a very good partnership, and to be honest, I wouldn't be looking to make any problems with that, really. However, I think we need Reece James in this game. Reece James needs to play this game because he is so important to this team, and I think we need his captain performance, captain mentality in this game, and especially against their forwards. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Anthony Elanga are very good players. Obviously, if he's up against Hudson-Odoi, he knows him very well out of the Chelsea Academy, so he will know his weaknesses, know his strengths, and know what to do against him. And obviously, with selecting Reece James, I did think it was more effective to play Tosin, because obviously that allows Reece to slot into that third back line member. Obviously, you have Tosin in centre, Levi on the left. The only thing that does concern me a little bit about that is that Levi Colwill on the left of a back three, which I'll admit, last time he played it, which was against Man United, he did really well against Amad Diallo. He pretty much followed him wherever he went, didn't let him get any of the ball, pretty much. And that's all well and good. But against Anthony Elanga, if that's who he's going to be up against on that side, that concerns me a little bit, because Colwill is not the quickest. I don't think he's particularly slow in any margin of error, but against Anthony Elanga, who is an absolutely rapid player, I'd be very concerned of Levi going up against him in a pace race. So that has me a little bit concerned, but largely, as long as we don't let Elanga get in behind us, we shouldn't have any massive issues. He is a danger man we need to be careful of. Don't let him get the ball. That needs to be an important factor in this game. Do not let Elanga get hold of that ball, because if he does, we are going to have massive issues, because none of this defence really has huge amounts of pace. Tosin is quick, Levi can be, Reece isn't really allowed to be because of his injury record, and Cucurella is quick, but not the quickest. So I think it would be beneficial to just make sure Elanga does not get the ball, because that, I think, will cause us massive issues. So that will involve keeping the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White quiet, the likes of Elliot Anderson, whoever else is in that midfield, whether it's Ryan Yates, whether it's Dominguez. So we will need to be careful about how we do that, but that leaves it in the hands of the midfield, which I have gone with a midfield 3 and a conventional midfield 3 at that, of Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and Romeo Lavia. Obviously, Romeo Lavia did not play the game against Man United, as we had played Reece James, and that does give me a bit of an indicator that if Reece James plays, Romeo Lavia will not, and vice versa. So that does have me a little bit of an insight. This is more of less of a prediction, more of a hope, what I think will happen, because I think this is the better way to go with this, in my opinion. Having Lavia in that team alongside Reece James, I think is a much better idea than having just one of them. And we know how important Romeo Lavia is to this team. We know how important all three of our midfielders are to this team. Obviously, Lavia, it provides the linchpin, really, of this team to be able to get it to perform the way it has. Caicedo, obviously, is our best player right now. That's just an undisputed fact. A ball-winning destroyer who can just go through absolutely anybody, gives absolutely zero damns about anybody's well-being and just make sure that he ends up going through them. And Enzo Fernandez, who in my opinion has been one of our most important players this season with how our attack operates, because I think with the way it works, he has just been so important to how we play and really underrated for us in my opinion. So I think his contribution cannot be understated. And this feels like the kind of game where Enzo is going to have one of those dictative performances, the one where he's going to get hold of the game, make everything happen, make sure we get over the line. Obviously, he is one of the captains alongside Reece, so it would be massively important for him to get on the sheet and make sure that we end up with a good performance, a good win at that. We need to make sure that we just be very careful of their midfield. While on paper, it's not that scary, we know what kind of a player Morgan Gibbs-White is. He's a very good player at that. Elliot Anderson has done really well since he's gone to Forest, and obviously the likes of Ryan Yates is obviously a very good player, obviously Forest captain, so he will be up for this game if it is him that plays. If it's not, if it's Nicholas Dominguez, that's obviously nothing to be sniffed at. He's a good player. So we do just need to operate the way we should operate. These three are one of the best midfielders in the world when they play, so we just need a top-class performance. And we need a top-class performance from our front line. And I'm going to be honest, this is the bit I'm most nervous about with this front line, but I have gone with something I don't think we've ever seen before. I've put Cole Palmer back on the right, Noni Madueke retains his spot on the left, Pedro Neto is up front for this game. I'll admit, I'm not the happiest with that, because Neto up against two Goliaths in Murillo and Milenkovic has me a little bit concerned, because he just doesn't have the size. We saw it versus Arsenal. He doesn't have the power or the capacity for dealing with centre-backs like that. So losing Murillo will do us a massive favour. There are two alternatives to this. Obviously, sticking Palmer up front, which I don't love, because he's just not as effective when he's that high up. Tyreek George, which he didn't really have the greatest performance against Man United, so I'm not keen to revisit that idea. The other option, and which is the riskier option, but would be the most ideal one, is the immediate return of Mark Guiu. Now, Guiu in this game would be amazing. He's big, he's strong, and going up against those two, I think he'd be able to manage. Now, obviously, with his recent return from injury, he does need to be managed carefully to make sure he doesn't get injured again. But Guiu needs to put an appearance in this game. Whether it's 45 in the first or the second half, he needs to play, because he is so important to winning this game, in my opinion. Because without him, I think we're just going to get overrun by those centre-backs, because they are big, they are strong, they are powerful, they are no-nonsense classic centre-backs that you just really hate to go up against. So I think having Guiu there would make a massive difference for us. Obviously, we need a big performance from Palmer. That goes without saying. Like, he's our best player. We need our best player to step up in these kind of moments. This is just one of those kind of games where you just hope that he is up for it, hope that he is back to his best. And I think with Romeo Lavia in the team, we will see a better Cole Palmer. That's one thing I have noticed when Lavia is in this team. I think Lavia and Enzo Fernandez, very crucially actually, I think Palmer is at his best. The moments when we've seen Enzo and Lavia in the team are, in my opinion, the best we've seen of Cole Palmer this season, or at the very least, most of the best we've seen of Cole Palmer this season. So I think that is what we need to do. We need to make sure we can get these players in unison with Palmer, because he is so important to how we play. So, yeah. And as for Noni, this is kind of his stamp of approval on the left wing situation for me. Since he's been put on the left, I think he's done really well, to be honest. But this is kind of the final test for him, really, whether he can own that left wing spot for the future coming. Because obviously, left wing options are a bit scarce right now, quality ones that are available at least. So, for me, I'm not adverse to having Noni go into next season as our starting left winger. It wouldn't be my first choice, I have to admit. There are probably some other options up there. We've obviously recently been linked with João Pedro, who I believe is probably being lined up as a left wing option if we were to go and look at him. But for me, I don't think Noni is the worst idea, really, to go into next season as starting left wing. So for me, this is a bit of a stamp for him. to mark his territory, to say that left wing spot is his. And if he can put in a good performance, score another goal like he did at Stamford Bridge against Forest, all the better for it. So hopefully we get a good performance here. I'm not sure whether this will be the team we see. The fact that we played Reece James in that game versus Man United and did not play Romeo Lavia tells me that we won't, because that doesn't feel like the kind of thing Maresca's going to do. It doesn't feel like he's suddenly going to change the way he operates and have Cole Palmer on the right or up front for that matter. It doesn't feel like that's an opportunity that we're going to take or an avenue we're going to look down, really. So it does scream to me that we're going to end up starting Romeo Lavia, Caicedo inverting from right back, and we'll end up bringing Reece James on. Obviously, would mean that we'd start Trevor Chalobah, and then maybe once Reece James gets on the pitch, we take him off, we start Tosin, or put Tosin on, I should say. So it could go either way. I'm very interested to see what he is going to do with the striker, whether he is going to put Neto up there, going to put George up there again, or Palmer, or maybe he is going to start Mark Guiu. That would be the ideal scenario for me. I would love to see Guiu back, because I think he could do so much damage in this game. So that would be great for me. But we need to win this game. There is no other way about it. We need to win this game. It is a must-win. I put it on the thumbnail. It is a must-win game. There is no other way around this. We need to win this game. So yeah, it's an important one. Most important Prem game we've had in a long time. So yeah, we need to win this game. No other way about it. I will be live streaming this game, so you'll be able to see what I think about that game. And yeah, I'm going to have a lot to say, whether we win, we lose, or whatever. So hopefully we go and get that win. We really bloody need it. And hopefully we can taste the sweet glory of the Champions League. As for a score prediction, I am going to say that we win 2-1. I don't know why. I could say pretty much anything, and I think I'd be justified in saying it. But 2-1 feels like the likely win here. I think we go probably 1-0 up in the first half, I'll say. I'll say Cole Palmer with the goal. Forest level, a bit into the second half through, I'll say, Anthony Elanga. And then in around the 80th minute, I feel like we're just going to get someone random and out of the blue who's just going to get a goal. And you know what? I think it'll be Reece James. I think Reece James, whether he starts or he comes off the bench, hammers one in to just get Chelsea to the Champions League. A captain's goal that helps his team, his club, get to the Champions League. That feels like the way this is going. And yeah, so that's my prediction. 2-1, Cole Palmer, Reece James, and Anthony Elanga. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my predictions for our final Premier League game of the season versus Nottingham Forest. I'm beyond nervous for this game. I imagine you all are as well. So I hope we go out there and get a win. Obviously, feel free, and I do hope you show up for the live stream tomorrow. Always enjoy doing the live streams. It's even better when I actually have a decent chat and a decent crowd to interact with, so gonna love that. And yeah, so thank you all very much for watching this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd really like to hear them. And yeah, with that being said, my name is the Crimson Wolf. I am the reddest Chelsea fan on the internet, and you have all been amazing, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with it.